Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill, as he called it, effectively ruins professional gambling and will end gambling as we know it. If you clicked on this video, you probably already know, but I'm going to rephrase it here. You can now only claim 90% of your losses on your taxes, which means if you win $100,000 from gambling and you lose $100,000 from gambling, that means you break even. You get taxed on 10% of the losses, which means you get taxed on $10,000 that you did not earn, that you did not win. This is ridiculous. This is one of the worst pieces of legislation I have ever seen come out of the federal government, especially around anything that's taboo, like alcohol, like gambling. This is really, really bad for something that just got thrown in at last second, and the Republicans are out here celebrating this. I don't think they understand how the gambling market works or really what they did here and how bad this can end up being. This is terrible, first off. And I don't know, that example, I've seen people see that example and still don't understand it. I'll use myself as another example. So I did about $21,000 in losses this year on sports gambling. I did about $23,000 in wins. So I made around $2,000, which means I should get taxed on $2,000. But the government says, no, you didn't lose $21,000. You only lost $19,000. So that's 10% of $21,000. I lose $19,000. So instead of profiting $2,000, the government sees me profiting $4,000. So instead of getting taxed on $2,000, I am now getting taxed on $4,000, which is a significant difference. Significant difference. Like, that almost makes it not worth it. The amount of time, the amount of effort, the amount of research I had to do, the amount of math I had to do to profit that much, just to get taxed almost double the amount I made, is absolutely ridiculous. And don't even think about me. Think about actual professional gamblers that do this for a living. They're going to get taxed an extra $1,000, $10,000, $50,000, maybe an extra $100,000 they're going to get taxed on. That is freaking insane, and it's going to make most professional gamblers not be able to survive. It's going to be tens of thousands of professional gamblers that are going to be hurt or potentially lose their job instantly when this bill gets through. And that is because their margins are already so small. Think about it. I get $40,000 to make $2,000. If they're doing $100,000 to make $5,000, it's like how much they have to put in to make is ridiculous. I mean, they might have a little bit better margins than me, but it's still going to be horrible. And this is so bad for states. Okay, because this is like New Jersey, like Nevada, like Pennsylvania, like New York, because these are all states that have professional gamblers that bet a lot of money into these sports books. That's a lot of handle that the states are going to miss out on, which means the tax revenue that the states get from these sports bets are going to be less and less and less, which, just like the federal government did, they're going to lose taxes elsewhere with the tax cuts. So they thought, where can we get some of these taxes back? Let's just tax the gamblers. The states are going to be doing the same thing. We lost so much handle in sports gambling. Where are we going to get the tax money that we lost? We're going to have to raise taxes for everybody else. Everyone else is just going to end up having to pay more in those states. That's why it's really bad. This is one of the worst things I've seen to come out of legislation. And I know I'm not talking about the whole bill, so I don't want anyone to see any comments like, oh, you're such a liberal, how dare you go against Trump. I'm not talking about the rest of the bill, okay? I could, if you really wanted me to, I could, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this part of the legislation because it directly impacts me. It directly impacts the industry. It directly impacts a lot of people I care and respect about in this industry. It's brutal. It's terrible. And it's 2 years away. Okay, so we got a little time, but in 2 years, like myself, who has a dream of becoming a professional gambler, I significantly now can't do that because I'm going to significantly lose a huge amount of profit. And I see a lot of people like, oh, who cares? That you don't care about gambling, they're taking money from people that they don't have. The principle of that is ridiculous. The principle of that should never be a thing ever. For anybody. They're taking money. If you bet $10 and you lose that $10, they legally can tax you on $1. They're taking that money from you. You don't have that money. You didn't win that money. You didn't earn that money. They're taking that money no matter what. And this doesn't help anybody. This does not help anyone who has a gambling addiction. And that's why I thought the first bill would be passed for gambling. A federal bill would be to help gamblers in need. But this is not going to help nobody because when you look at a guy who has a gambling addiction, he's not going to care about the taxes, okay? So if a guy goes out there and loses $100,000, the government's going to knock on his door and say, where's our taxes on 10 grand? That's ridiculous. That is crazy. That is nuts. And if they're going to do this, they're going to tax this money that people don't have. What is going to happen in the future? What is going to happen next? How much more are they going to take? They're going to say, oh, we took 10%. And we kind of got away with it, because they might get away with it. Some people might not react at all. They say, oh, let's take 15. Let's take 20 now. What? That's going to be a significant hurting to the industry. It's going to be horrible for the industry. And this needs to be something that Democrats need to fight back on, especially in states like New Jersey, Nevada. I am shocked Las Vegas allowed this to get through. I am shocked that a House representative from Nevada, who is a Republican, voted yes for this bill, completely turning his back on the state of Nevada. That is blasphemy. That is terrible. That man probably would have lost his job either way, but I'm sure as hell he was going to lose his job in for re-election. This is a real problem that people are talking about, but I don't know if enough people are talking about, because people don't care. And they just think, oh, well, if I don't lose, I won't get taxed, because, you know what, I'm not going to lose. I don't know anything about gambling. I'm not going to lose. I only win. I'm the best. Because everybody you talk to in the gambling industry, they don't lose. They win, okay? And now when this needs to get reported, oh, this is going to get interesting. This is going to get a lot of interesting. And this is going to burn the wrong person at some point. Or this is going to burn a lot of people that voted for Trump that like to gamble. I'm sure there's a lot of those people that don't realize what this is going to do to them. They bet $10 a day, $20 a day. They can lose $3,000 a year, $5,000 a year, $10,000 a year, even though they win $8,000. They can lose $10,000 a year. Guess what? They're going to ask for tax on $1,000 extra dollars. That's nuts. That's crazy. That's going to be so many goddamn people who claim, oh, I lost $2,000, but you're taxing me on $1,000? I don't know how that's going to go, especially when that can get multiplied by a lot of people. The amount can be, instead of 10,000, can be 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, because I'm sure those people are out there and exist. This is terrible. This is one of the worst pieces of legislation I've ever seen. And it needs to be fixed, and it needs to be fixed fast. Ultimately, my name is Joshua. So if you like the channel, please hit subscribe. If you like sports, you like anything to do with gambling, I promise this is the channel for you. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers as we just hit 250. I thank you guys for that. I'm also, another goal, maybe a side goal, get more subscribers than videos posted. I would love that. Almost more than 500 subscribers, but 500 subscribers would be cool as well. Let's get there. My name's Joshua C. Thank you.